Toilet Humper. This is what he did. It is not meant as a bizarre metaphor. The man would unzip his fly, shrug down his pants, or if he was in an elaborate mood, put on a lady's slip, and straddled the toilet as if he was a woman, and the cool porcelain contours bolted to the floor were the hips of a man. The lid was up, exposing the placid bowl of water within, the target water. He would make a little tent for his cock with the palms of his hands and rub it against the seat. It looked like a balancing act, this making love, in a sense, to the entire waterworks of Portland, Oregon. He could be worshiping Poseidon or any number of ancient river nymphs with each slow motion thrust. What it really amounted to was a toilet seat. A not particularly clean toilet seat. Any seat would do. When I first met him, I was 23 years old and full of raging hormones, like some sort of salt and sugar injected fast food that can only be purchased in dollar stores. But over the 3 years we dated, we grew apart, and I wouldn't always want to do it with him, which is when he would stroll to my bathroom with his enormous mop of hair on his unnaturally small face, a ratio that reminded me of a giraffe or some sort of prairie animal. And he would start grinding against the seat with a method he must have perfected over time, because any rank amateur would have slid right off and fallen on his ass. And he would gaze at me, his moon-pale Welsh eyes bugging, and then squinting, lips sucked inwards, brow furrowed in concentration with each slow motion thrust. To find myself stared at by a person engaged in such an act, as if in his mind he was fusing the image of my body to the sensation of the cold, smooth toilet seat, made me feel the impulse to laugh. But he was deadly serious. He did not joke about this activity, or even smile while it was taking place. Poseidon demanded the milk of his loins. Poseidon was in the sewer. Poseidon was beside himself. Just a moment. Carry the swinger. Gary the Swinger is obsessed with longevity. He holds up his phone and shows off the men he has had sex with as if he is pointing out appetizers on a menu. So many appetizers, but which ones are a main course? There is no main course. Gary is like a sex anorexic. He binges and purges, but it is essential that he never gain weight, feel full. He has a sauna in his basement. Once he had a lodger in his basement. Two, a meth head who paid rent. One day the lodger snuck into Gary's car and stabbed him in the neck. The knife went through the headrest of Gary's seat and into one of his main arteries. Gary was afraid of peeling himself out of his seat for fear that he would start to lose blood. With a knife pinning him to his seat, he drove to an emergency room and honked his horn until the medics could remove him from his seat in a way that wouldn't kill him. This is the story Gary tells. I presume that the tweaker jumped out of his car and didn't ride to the hospital in Gary's back seats. But Gary forgave his meth head lodger assailant. The dude was probably cute and had a big dick. Wonders never cease. Joyce DeWitt. Flashback. I am 23 years old. Cupid doll children and tweakers and squatters and SSI cases. I am terrible at frying hash browns, and I come home every day covered in inches of grease. The woman who runs the club has agreed for a fee to be a certified caregiver for a dying ex-boyfriend. He is a junkie who is now, after years of drug abuse, having his body fall apart. He is losing toys, toes, fingers to diabetes faster than a stripper loses G-strings in wads of ones before the sun doth rise. This man can't be more than 53, but he is as frail as an elderly crow, and he hobbles about with a cane and a Victorian dressing gown and 1,000-yard stare. He is a living corpse. The woman hires us, her acquaintances and friends and art associates, to help move the guy's crap out of her house. His parents, looking far more vital than he does, a cheery Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus, rosy cheeks and Winston Churchill, stiff upper lip cheer, are paying for this move. And an apartment, this man's final apartment, in a brick building downtown, where he can die with dignity, out of the hair of the woman who slaved for him too long. Many a time I would visit her and see him throw cups of strawberry yogurt on the floor like a petulant child, like a man who was once a junkie. So we are huffing and puffing, struggling to get this guy's belongings into a super duper deluxe size U-Haul, but the hoard is never ending. There are boxes of toys and twine, one entirely filled with G.I. Joes, another one full of Fisher-Price plastic models of playgrounds and schools, and a box full of cereal boxes, and another box full of fabric scraps. The junk is moderately interesting, but at this point in time, it feels useless. What is the dying man going to do now? Is he going to make some sort of sculpture or performance art with all of this junk now? The only item I really take a shining to is a homemade poster of Joyce DeWitt in her rocker phase. hair gel. The poster has Joyce DeWitt's head, photocopied many times. In big bold letters, the poster says, Joyce DeWitt, 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 and I think of stealing it. Or at least asking for it. But I realize that asking for any of these items is like asking to take home an infectious disease. Let's do the Female Gollum. Okay. Greatest hits. Who said chivalry was dead? The Female Gollum is a schizoid speed freak who gives Nina Hagen a run for her money. It is amazing. The voices and phrases this woman is generating. Can I be a cunt? Can you? Can you? Titanium! Titanium! Yes, yes, darling. Can you taunt Einstein Jane? Can you taunt Einstein Jane? Can you? Can you? Can you? Can you? Very intricate rhythms, somewhat remind me of the indigenous music of Ghana. Crossed with Overflood, crossed with Nina Hagen and Yosemite Sam. Are you getting the sonic picture yet? Laryngectomy rasp, or is her throat just worn out from all the projection? Her foot gets in rhythm to the words, a sockless foot on a canvas sneaker. She wears a long black skirt with a glittery top that from this distance might be sequins, or it might be vinyl. Her hair is a ratted blonde mess like Courtney Love. Two homeless men collecting bottles on bicycles come to her aid and offer her cigarettes and casual conversation. One guy is young with sunglasses, and the other is a bearded man